Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday morning. Got a little bit of a late start because it's Saturday. So I'm going to read another chapter. Today we're on chapter 3, Mr. Wonka and the Indian Prince. But I was wondering if you guys remember what's happened so far in the story. Remember Grandpa Joe was telling Charlie all about Wonka's factory. Do you remember some of the cool things that he invented in his factory? I think the thing that I like was the bubble gum that taste lasted forever, or the chocolate ice cream that never melted. What was your favorite one? Do you have one? So today we're going to read chapter 3. It's called Mr. Wonka and the Indian Prince. Remember, Charlie used to go into his grandparents' room at night, and Grandpa Joe would tell him all these stories. This is one of them. Chapter 3, Mr. Wonka and the Indian Prince. Prince Pondicherry wrote a letter to Mr. Willy Wonka, said Grandpa Joe, and asked him to come all the way out to India to build him a colossal palace entirely out of chocolate. Did Mr. Wonka do it, Grandpa? He did indeed, and what a palace it was. It had 100 rooms, and everything was made of either dark or light chocolate. The bricks were chocolate, and the cement holding them together was chocolate, and the windows were chocolate, and all the walls and ceilings were made of chocolate. So were the carpets and the pictures and the furniture and the beds. And when you turned on the taps in the bathroom, hot chocolate came pouring out. When it was all finished, Mr. Wonka said to Prince Pondicherry, "I warn you, though, it won't last very long, so you'd better start eating it right away." "Nonsense," shouted the prince. "I'm not going to eat my palace. I'm not even going to nibble the staircase or lick the walls. I'm going to live in it." But Mr. Wonka was right, of course, because soon after this there came a very hot day with a boiling sun, and the whole palace began to melt, and then it sank slowly to the ground, and the crazy prince, who was dozing in the living room at the time, woke up to find himself swimming around in a huge, brown, sticky lake of chocolate. Little Charlie sat very still on the edge of the bed, staring at his grandfather. Charlie's face was bright and his eyes were stretched so wide you could see the whites all around. "Is all this really true?" he asked. "Or are you just pulling my leg?" Pulling my leg. Do you know what kind of figurative language that is? Do you remember? What does it mean when someone's pulling your leg? Right, it's an idiom. It means that you're just joking. "It's true," cried all 4 of the old people at once. "Of course it's true. Ask anyone you like." "And I'll tell you something else that's true," said Grandpa Joe. And now he leaned closer to Charlie and lowered his voice so soft, secret whisper, "Nobody ever comes out." "Out of where?" asked Charlie. "And nobody ever goes in." "In where?" cried Charlie. "Wonka's factory, of course." "Grandpa, what do you mean?" "I mean workers, Charlie." "Workers?" "All factories," said Grandpa Joe, "have workers streaming in and out of the gates all morning, in the mornings and evenings, except Wonka's. Have you ever seen a single person going into that place or coming out?" Little Charlie looked slowly around at each of the 4 old faces, one after the other, and they all looked back at him. They were friendly, smiling faces, but they were also quite serious. There was no signs of joking or leg pulling on any of them. "Well, have you?" asked Grandpa Joe. I really don't know, Grandpa," Charlie stammered. "Whenever I walk past the factory, the gates seem to be closed." "Exactly," said Grandpa Joe. "But there must be people working there." "Not people, Charlie. Not ordinary people, anyway." "Then who?" cried Charlie. "Aha! That's it, you see. That's another of Mr. Wonka's cleverness." "Charlie, dear," Mrs. Bucket called out from where she was standing by the door, "it's time for bed. That's enough for tonight." "But, Mother, I must hear." "Tomorrow, my darling." "That's right," said Grandpa Joe. "I'll tell you the rest of it tomorrow evening." I wonder who works in his factory. We'll find out. Chapter 4 is called The Secret Workers. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Get outside, get some fresh air. I miss you guys, and I will see you back here tomorrow. All right? We'll find out all about Charlie and his chocolate factory. Bye, guys.